And we're back. So now I want to talk to you guys about now why, when I talk about storytelling, and this is very interesting because of the fact that this has to do with Rock Nation, and it's in reality, it's not really that big a news, but it is the right step into how you create it into a big deal. So, if you guys didn't know, Siya Kolisi, who is the captain for the Springboks, former Shark, he is the player of the match for the 2019 Rugby World Cup. He signed with Rock Nation in 2019 after the Rugby World Cup, and who have a roster of South Africans, a couple New Zealanders, and a handful of English players on their roster for rugby. And he's going to France, to Racing 92. You know, right? He's going to Racing 92 in France to play for them. But this is important. This is very, very important. This has been made into actual news. This is very, very big news. And I think I guess for South African people, him leaving South Africa to go to Europe is something. But, also South Africa plays in the United Rugby Championship. So, they would be playing against French teams and anything. So, hometown hero, and I guess to the fans there. But in terms of a global news, it's not really a big deal. But in terms of why it's a global news is exactly what it is. And it speaks to what I was just talking about before, storytelling. Now, you ask, why is it important with Siya? It's because he's with Rock Nation. This is Rock Nation all over. You know the other reason why? Is because he has a documentary coming out on, I believe, Hulu, if I remember correctly. It's either a documentary or a book that's coming out, and it's a documentary. And this is their way of setting up the promotion for that. All right? So they've opened up the top of the funnel. Siya, captain for the Springboks, is moving to France, where they make way more money and the leagues spend like water is draining out of a sink. Like, it is a nothing process for them. But he's moving over, and what they're doing is creating the element and the change where it's like, okay, why is this a big deal? Now you're curious, like, what do I need to know? And to make the move even more impactful, we want to get to know Siya more. Yeah, now we get this documentary that we get to know. So now we're putting stakes into how he plays. We haven't even talked about what he's getting paid. I don't even know if he's getting much more money than he would have at the Sharks. I'm assuming he will. Just the exchange rate alone would probably earn him more money. And again, racing is a big money place. But we don't even know how much he's going to be making, which would add another level of stakes to this. I love the fact that this is showing what the impact is. And they're also, the other thing is, Rock Nation is also an influencer and consultant for the United Rugby Championships, which involves, obviously, South Africa, involves the French League, and involves the Premier League 15s for the men. So they're really up promoting themselves in terms of getting more eyes into that actual competition. It is layers to it. That is how it's done, but it's not surprising. It's an American company. It's an American company who understands sports entertainment in its true value and not in its traditional value. It's entertainment than actual sports. It should be entertainment sports and sports entertainment. But if we said entertainment sports, we're thinking more of like movies and actors and celebrities and reality stars, which professional athletes are reality stars. But, we're talking more in that element than it is in sports. So we'll say sports entertainment. But this is what we actually have to keep doing. Like, I do appreciate that the MLR creates at least knowledge of people who are getting signed and moving and stuff like that. But they're still working on building the story because it's not really stakes. We're still trying to figure out exactly what is the significance of the change because we don't have enough people who are like really rooted in a team. I think we've seen so much movement just because pay and, it's still a growing league and whatnot like that. So we don't have it. But it's what adds to that element. We need to see that as consumers to be able to be like, okay, this is their value. This is what this guy is supposed to bring. Let me see if this value is going to match to what his play is on the field and subsequently what we perceive as the value of that team moving forward and our chances to see a championship and our chances to be able to understand if they're going to, be worth it overall? Are they a favorite? Is this a game changer? This is what makes it interesting. And now you're like, okay, now I need to go find this game. I need to go find this game. Another thing that was talked about in No Woman, No Try, which, again, you can look for the review. It's going to be on Rugby Swag Podcast and, of course, on GiftTime Rugby Network YouTube channel. Definitely get ready to check this thing out. But I am legitimately impressed by it, but I'm also mad jealous because you guys know, if you've been listening, I'm trying to be one of the biggest rugby promoters and marketers in the U.S., let alone in the world. And, they're using basically everything that we've been saying for like the last 10 years, last 5 years, 6 years, and, now blueprinting it. The race is on. That's just an aside. My competitive edge. It's the ramble. But back to the point, love what is being done. Love that Rock Nation is taking a hand on this. And it is showing exactly why I say World Rugby needs to kind of step aside from trying to be a marketer, promoter, and just be a stabilizing force. You can get a percentage, be a manager. You can get a percentage of the cost, but you not actually like running the show. You just need to find the people who properly run the show, and you're trying to run the show too much. But kudos. Yo, I forgot to tell you, this year, 2023, is my 10-year bloody anniversary of doing rugby media. GiftTime Rugby started 10 years ago, technically February 14th, 2013, but this whole year we're celebrating, all right? And I've seen, people I'm celebrating a month whenever their birthday is obviously just one day. Well, we're celebrating the whole bloody year, so I want you guys to know that I want you guys to be signed up onto my email list because I'm going to be giving some ish out. We are doing it big this year. This is a turnover year. I want you to get on. So whether you are getting on gifttimerugby.com/newsletter and jumping on to our newsletter there, or jump onto the hbcrugbyclassic.com/newsletter. This is where we're going to be learning about people that are in the game, a little bit more in depth about the players, more gifts that are, no pun intended, for our events and tournaments, and let you know about what we can offer you more and more as we continue to build and grow. But this is a big time year. I want you to be able to benefit from my celebration of this amazing, accomplishment, or what? Memorization? Accomplishment. From this amazing, momentous moment. Yeah. We're just saying, from this amazing accomplishment, I'm excited for it. So I just didn't want you guys to forget, but please go ahead, go check out gifttimerugby.com/newsletter, hbcrugbyclassic.com/newsletter. Sign up. Yo, I want to make sure that you guys are going to be getting something very special moving forward from there.
For a while I lost my smile, but they still couldn't steal my style. Now they're never gonna bring me down.